Hey guys, Unfair here. Welcome back to another episode of Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. I have to say, I love that it goes into the classic Deus Ex music after he's done ranting. That was a nice touch. So, I was kind of struggling to decide how I wanted to approach this game, because there's a lot of stuff to do, and it's a pretty open world from this point on. We're kind of done with the linear part. Well, I lied. There's a couple levels that are a little bit linear. But for the most part, the city is pretty open. So it took me a little while to figure out how I wanted to approach these missions.
Open blinds.
But I have a pretty good idea now, at least for the first couple main missions.
Good morning, Adam.
Like I mentioned before, though, we're not going to be covering every single side mission. I'm more interested in how this game relates to the overall Deus Ex universe, rather than the social justice storyline. This book is talking about the hacker known as Janus, who we spoke to a little bit in the missing link.
You have one new message.
From?
David Sarif.
Play it.
Adam, it's David. I know it's been a while, but after what happened in Prague yesterday... Look, son, whatever reasons you've had for not getting in touch these last 2 years, well, life's too short. I'm leaving for London soon, but give me a call.
You saved his vidcall number?
Yes, Adam. Just activate your TV system.
There's actually a lot of stuff on the TV, and I'll record all that and probably put it in a special cut at the end of this episode. I'm not going to make us watch all of it right now. I'd like to actually get into some of the action.
As you wish.
I think our door is already unlocked. So apparently we're asking about Miller. And he doesn't really have much to tell us. Nice. This guy is hilarious. He's always super paranoid, but he seems like a pretty good guy. Pick up a little bit of ammo there. Nothing super helpful.
Adam! Thanks for calling me back, son.
Seraph.
I heard about the bombing in Prague. It's all over the news. Did anyone you know get hurt?
You know me. Tend to keep to myself. I'm surprised you even know I'm here.
Interpol called me when you applied for the job, part of their extensive background checks. I gave you a glowing recommendation.
Thanks. What do you want?
What do I want? Jeez, Adam. I know I did some questionable things in the past, but a lot's happened in the last 2 years. To both of us.
That's true. For what it's worth, I'm glad you made it out of Panchaea.
Thank you. It wasn't easy, as I'm sure you know. I was at death's door by the time the rescue crews pulled me out of the wreckage.
Yeah, I know. I shot you in the face.
Back together, my company fell apart. Wasn't anything I could do to stop it, not from a hospital bed.
I heard Tai Young Medical bought everything up.
They're the only biotech corporation that could after the incident. Our patents, our tech, everything.
So the bad guys are still winning.
Oh well, sometimes one dream has to die so another can rise from its ashes.
You heard anything from Megan?
After all we went through, I thought she'd stand by me. Still, you know, she always wanted to be at the cutting edge. She didn't see a future for herself in Detroit, so she went to VersaLife.
With Bob
She
Page.
moved to Hong Kong.
We saw her offer at the very end of Human Revolution. You might have missed it. It was right after all the credits and everything.
California, huh? I wonder if she's told her mother.
You want my advice, son? Write her out of your life. Because I'm damn sure she's written us out of hers.
You talked to Pritchard lately?
Frank! Out of all of us, I think he's the one who's changed the least.
He'd probably tell you there wasn't anything about him that needed changing.
I'm sure he would. But when the world transforms itself the way ours has, people need to adapt or get left behind. Frank's freelance now, but he's still in computer security, still in Detroit. I don't know if he'll ever leave.
Your message said you were going to London. Casual trip? Or is this tied to the new dream?
I'm, meeting with the Santo Group, Nathaniel Brown and his investors.
Santo? They built the Udalek complex, the Og Ghetto, here in Prague. Why are you meeting with them?
Brown's got big plans. He wants to focus on real solutions, ideas that look to the future. You've heard of the Safe Harbor Initiative?
I've heard of Rabia. The walled city he and his company are building in the desert for Augs.
Rabia's just a part of it. We're talking about self-sustaining, energy-efficient arcologies that can be replicated anywhere on Earth. Cities built by the augmented, for the augmented.
Where the dream of self-controlled human evolution lives on.
It may not seem like it right now, son, but one day, people will move on from the incident. And when that happens, we'll be ready for it. I'm glad we caught up, Adam. I've always tried to look out for you, you know. That bombing yesterday.
You didn't call to talk about the bombing. Just ask.
It's nothing, really. I just need a signature so I can finish filing the bankruptcy paperwork.
You need my signature?
Yeah, apparently there was some kind of bureaucratic mix-up caused by you being declared legally dead for a year.
Aw, how inconvenient for you.
Your name, even though we paid for it.
Fine. Send me the paperwork.
Thanks, Adam. I appreciate it, really.
Goodbye, Seraph.
Alright, so we could actually watch TV. Here, I'll just show you what it looks like. But we're not going to sit and watch this for a long time. There's probably about 10 minutes worth of live TV.
Reporting to you live from Picus. Picus News, the global leader in fair, unbiased, and impartial reporting.
Yeah, sure, thanks.
For a close look at the events.
Alright, I think that's about it. I don't remember there being anything else super important here for now. So let's assign some guns real quick and then we'll hop into some action. Finally, after like, what, 20 minutes of cutscenes or something like that?
Miller, it's Jensen.
It's good to finally hear from you, Agent. You doing okay?
Sorry about the downtime. I'll get to the office as soon as I can, but my Augs took a hit during the attack. I need to get them looked at.
Of course. There's a lot of work ahead of us, Jensen. I'll see you when you get in.
So there might be some interesting things in some of these apartments.
Dr. Kohler, I need to pay you a visit.
Jensen! Now's actually a really good time for me, like right now!
Something wrong?
There are some guys in my bookshop. Pissed off the Valley gangster-looking guys. So, unless you want bloodshed the day after a terror attack...
The front door isn't the most peaceful option. I got it.
As I was saying, there's actually some interesting things in some of these apartments, but most of them we can't really get in right now because our hacking is super low and we can't upgrade it.
Maybe I'm not making myself clear. I don't want to fuck with you, Eva, but things need to change around here. I got the connections now. I got the valleys. With that kind of muscle, I can expand this whole operation. We only deal the valleys in for 20. That's it. 20% guarantees Neon is the go-to drug all across Europe. 20% is nothing for that kind of reach. Well, I'm bringing the valleys, so I take 50% of what's left. It's only fair. Look, I am bringing the valleys to the table. I deserve a fucking bigger piece.
So the Diwalis are kind of a crime family, and Neon is this drug that's a little bit popular with the Augs and stuff. cannot remember if we can talk to her or not.
Jdi mi z očí, Augu. Nejdřív mi vyhodíš město do vzduchu a teď čekáš, že na tebe budu slušná? Buď rád, že ti neplivnu do ksichtu.
Apparently we can.
Kdyby bylo po mým, všechny by vás zavřeli a strčili na nějaký ostrov uprostřed oceánu. Kdyby bylo po mým, všechny by vás zavřeli.
She doesn't have much to say though, apparently.
Uprostřed oceánu.
Flew into a psychotic killing spree.
And we can't get in there. I can't remember, there might have been a password in the other room. Let me check. I'd swear there was something hidden around here. Alright, well, we're gonna come back to these apartments later, so it's not a real big deal. There's also this guy here who's a weapons dealer, but I don't believe we have 10,000 credits right now. Yeah, we have 500. So we can't buy the Praxis kit that he has. We'll have to come back for that later.
You can do this.
In our bodies, in our augmented bodies, lies our salvation, Seekers. We carry the seeds of divinity within us and the future of the neo-human race.
Church of the Machine God.
It is the beginning of a new age.
Seeker, are you prepared for the ascension?
I think you've got the wrong guy.
No, I can see your purity. You are close, so close, and the Singularity Church of the Machine God can help take you the rest of the way. You know of it?
Nope.
I don't think your church can help me get where I'm going.
Each of us lives with needs and desires, begging and howling for attention, for fulfillment. We barely have time to ponder. What, if anything, lies beyond this wretched world?
And you have some idea of what that might be?
I am but a servant, tasked with spreading the word and offering hope to those who have none. But I have the teachings of the church to guide me. What would you like to know?
Look, I don't really care about your church, but okay, tell me more.
This Singularity Church of the Machine God. For augmented only?
The word of the Mother. Only the gifted will ascend. She has cast out the flesh-flawed in preparation.
So you're here on a recruitment drive to fill up the numbers.
And more. The Builder lives in this place, the dreamer of our ascension, now cast out at the will of the Mother.
Let me guess, he's one of the flesh-flawed.
No, he simply had a crisis of faith. But I am not so blinded by my faith as others are. He was a friend once, a mentor, a leader in our church. Some of us remember. Do you have more questions?
Yeah, have you heard of Scientology?
Tell me more about this ascension.
Our minds will depart their corporeal shells and merge with the divine consciousness of the Machine God. This is the ascension.
Sounds like you're talking about uploading a copy of your brains to a computer. I didn't think that was possible yet.
Thanks to the Builder, it is. But it is much more than a simple copy. It is transference. Joseph called it an evolution of the human condition. Do you have more questions, Seeker?
Apparently not.
Nothing right now. Maybe some other time.
Very well, Seeker. I will be here if you change your mind.
Have all the answers, brothers and sisters. Only all the answers you need.
Not now.
We're talking.
And what?
Yeah, I can see that. Thanks. Alright, so we're supposed to go see that other guy. But we're actually going to deal with him later.
Sir?
Watch yourself. Not sure why we even...
You looking for the best prices in Prague? Not talking hot dogs here.
If the hot dogs aren't your main business, why don't you have a store?
See, this way, I get to keep my overhead down and pass on the savings to the customers.
Entrepreneurial.
Better believe it.
What have you got?
Well, I got info. The kind that's worth something.
Could always use reliable intel.
Who couldn't? But for that, I only accept payment in Europozine.
I don't have any.
Sorry, it's a deal breaker. But find me again if you get any, okay?
A lot of people around here only accept payment in Neuroprazine. But giving it to him is kind of a waste. You can do much more interesting things with it. All of his stuff you can find by just walking around.
License, permit, voucher, document of authority, temporary pass, travel coupon, and or certificate of authenticity.
Good old days, we'd just ask for ID.
Good old days are gone. Haven't seen one of these before. Orange level. You are some kind of badass?
Yes, I am.
Someone with a job to do.
And the tools to do it, obviously. Go on through.
So I'm looking around for a sewer entrance. I think it's right over here. I think this entrance actually comes straight out of our apartment as well. I just took the wrong door out. So this isn't our main quest. Like I said, we're gonna ignore that for just a little while here. Do a couple side quests before we go deal with the guy that's freaking out about people raiding his apartment or bookstore, whatever you call it.
What do you mean he's being manipulated? I don't know exactly, but someone saw him in the sewers, at the mercy of a man's voice.
A cult of some kind? They say there is a resurgence.
Pavel is impressionable. The world terrified him. He spent all his time hiding, dreaming of utopias that do not exist.
So they're talking about some kind of cult around here, and some guy that they know that got caught up with it.
Beware of the cults. Do not give in to easy answers.
Samizdat. Remember that name, that'll come up quite a bit. They're kind of a little conspiracy newspaper. Talking about what happened in Panchaea, which you'll notice gets called the incident a lot here. It seems like nobody knows exactly what happened. Now, that way's electrified. There's not really much for us to do down there right now. This route, however, I believe was the one that had the cult down it. And we can't get in there because it's hacking again.
Please, don't tell anyone. Viznik's not supposed to be here. Shh! But I am here.
I'll take your word for it.
I was part of it. The hive mind. Inside the gate, I questioned what holds us together. Where? Why? Now this. Exiled from exile. I have been disconnected.
Disconnected? Disconnected from what? I don't understand what you're saying.
If there is a lack of understanding between my brains, may not always misfire like these. He did this to me. It's what it does. I can't force you, because I'm not like him.
Not like who? Who forced you?
Together, they succumbanize to him. Him, the opportunist, the savior, the rat. When I resisted, I saw. It made him fear me.
What he's talking about will become a lot more clear once we actually get inside there.
Who are you talking about? Who are the people inside the gate?
They are the outcasts, the illegals, the weak and the frightened. We found solace in him, something worth defending, but it was not a choice.
If it wasn't a choice, then what was it?
The Pied Piper was a rat. His instrument was invasive. The others cannot hear it, but I can. The signal. I was too close and now I'm too far. But you will see through him.
Let me see if I got this straight. The Pied Piper led you down here, and the Pied Piper is a rat.
Exactly. I'm glad we understand each other. Okay. Just remember, you'll only be able to confront him if he knows that you know that he knows. So, obviously, you'll need the name. The name. I'm not supposed to give it away, but I must. And then you must. Yes?
Sure, why not?
You're asking me to go beyond that gate, to confront someone who's harmed you. who may be harming others. I'm willing to do that, but I need to know more about what's happening.
He casts them close. He brings them away. You must find out how to uncotangle him from the others, to resist the mentality. They need to be eased out. Figure out what holds them all together, because it's not his personality. When you finally see Richard for who he really is, you realize it cannot possibly be that.
Richard, huh? All right. Let's go see what I've agreed to.
Pied Piper is a rat. A rat!
So, if you're not familiar with the Pied Piper, you can look up the fairy tale.
Visnick could use some help.
His metaphor will make a little bit more sense if you're familiar with it. But it's not super important, just kind of an interesting fairy tale if you haven't read it.
He should not be outside. Do not look at him.
He will harm us.
He will behave himself.
Richard will know what to do.
He will listen to Richard.
Richard, protect us, Richard.
Come closer. Let me see you. There's nothing to be scared of. Everyone's worst impulses get checked at the door, yours included. I hope you understand the need for it. We preach pacifism here. Alternatives to terror. Don't want animals dragging in the mud.
Who are you? What is all this?
This is what the new freedom looks like. A collaborative elaboration of the imaginative experience.
An experiment of some kind.
We're beyond experiments. We're establishing truths, new models of belonging and community, ones in which people can actually live.
Your own little utopia. There's a man outside who... He asked me to come. He said you... The man outside.
Jensen, you're not very good at keeping secrets.
Like outside, trapped between acts of humiliation and acts of terror. Between resolutions and registry codes. The canned laughter. The scripted dreams. It's no longer a place for people.
I came because I thought something was... It's wrong. I had reason to believe something's wrong.
Everything is wrong. That's why we're here. Bracketing out the terrors. If only in this one tiny corner of the world. Allow me to suggest something. A version of you. A version that strips away all suspicions, free of the sinister cells we cling to along the way. Here, you can be free of the injustices, the suffering, your own animal impulses. Finally, you can be human.
I may not know exactly what's going on here, but I do know that an honest man wouldn't need to hide behind a...
I know what you're thinking. You can't wait to be the best version of yourself.
That's not what I'm thinking.
Visnick said I had to see through you, your attempts at manipulation, to see you for what you...
Some part of you abhors violence. Some part of everyone does. See, I know you better than you know yourself. I know you don't want to hurt anyone.
So for this whole encounter, we don't really have a choice. I bet the Illuminati would love this technology.
I don't know for a fact that you're doing anything wrong.
That's because I'm not. Unless you count saving these people. We live in a world of brutality, repression, exile. The Restoration Act is the single greatest human rights violation of all time. These people deserve better than that.
Most men who claim to be saviors,
You have a skeptical personality. It's understandable. You're a product of your time. No one's forcing you to...
You don't want me to leave? Like Visnick?
I want you to understand. The people who choose to be here, they are good people. And with my help, they have done something miraculous. They have found a better version of themselves, of society. Promise me you won't jeopardize that.
I think you're the one who's harming these people.
As you can see, I'm not harming anyone. I know you believe.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't come here to jeopardize these people.
That's true enough.
That's good enough. That's all I need to hear.
So, we can go upstairs, but there's these cameras and turrets, and the doors are actually locked, and without our hacking skills, it's kind of hard to do anything with that. So, that's most of what we'll get for right now.
Do not doubt yourself. We all know what happened to you. We all saw what happened to you.
There are a couple data cubes around here, but they're just talking about people that got brainwashed, basically.
I can still hear it. It's like a mosquito in my brain.
You're awesome, dude. Alright, and I think this one is pretty high level. Well, not super high level, it's only level 2, but we still can't get in there unless our AUGs get activated. And now, as promised, the full 5 minutes of Adam watching TV. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time.
Its flagship project, a glittering engineered city named Rabia, is slated to be publicly unveiled at one of Brown's upcoming Safe Harbor conventions. I, for one, cannot wait to learn more. This is Eliza Kassan, reporting to you live from Picus.
Tradition, precision, refinement, Static watches. It's about time.
In yet another augmented terror attack, 251 passengers aboard Sista Airlines Flight 451 were killed when an augmented passenger broke into the plane's cockpit and ruthlessly butchered its flight crew. Details recovered from the black box recorder suggest that the man may have been suffering flashbacks to the AUG incident. That horrible day 2 years ago when augmented people all over the world flew into a psychotic killing spree, causing the greatest loss of life in recent history. I cannot speak for you folks, but terrifying memories of that day still haunt me. It will certainly be a while before any of us forget it. This is Eliza Kassan, reporting to you live from Picus.
Keeping you alive and clearing a way to your future. Proven. Safe. Impartial life.
Around the clock, around the world. Picus News. Always watching, because you are always watching. I know I am not the only one wondering what the Augmented Rights Coalition hopes to achieve, following news of yesterday's devastating attack in Prague. So let's hear from Dr. Talis Rucker, ARC's charmingly eloquent leader himself.
What the non-augmented peoples of the world have failed to grasp is the incident was a tragedy for all.
But it wasn't all of humankind who went crazy, Dr. Rucker.
The loss of life on both sides was considerable, but instead of healing and dialogue, fear of the augmented has turned to hatred.
Surely you cannot claim to be mistreated by governments when they have spent taxpayer money to build special living quarters for you and your kind.
But when legislation forces augmented people out of their homes and into sequestered environments, there's no reason involved, only fear and expedience. And that is why I moved to the Utrecht complex.
I thought you were forced to leave your native Germany. Were there not allegations that you...
Those accusations were false. When I arrived in Prague...
There was a terrorist bombing at a local church.
But ARC had nothing to do with it. We are...
A non-violent organization. Yes, you said that. That was 6 months ago. Earlier today, the Ruzicka train station fell victim to a bombing, the third to hit Prague in recent months. Is this really the face of a pacifist? Join the discussion online and let us know what you think.
This is Eliza Kassan, reporting to you live from Picus. Picus News, the global leader in fair, unbiased, and impartial reporting. And now for a close look at the events making headlines around the world. Here are our top stories. And now for a close look at events making headlines around the world. The impact of the AUG incident is still being felt. 2 years after the fact. The fear, the hatred, the violence. In the northwestern United States, a group of non-augmented citizens, armed with assault rifles, have begun patrolling the streets of Lewistown, Montana. They claim the US government is not doing enough to protect them from augmented crazies. In China, meanwhile, a group of protesters demanding freedom and basic human rights for all, regardless of augmented status, have been imprisoned by the Chinese government. In apparent retribution for that act, vigilante hackers tied to the Juggernaut Collective have crashed the Jensen Stock Exchange. Yes, folks, these are troubled times indeed. This is Eliza Cassan, reporting to you live from Picus.
The Santo Group. Construction, arcology, quality, excellence. Santo, restoring the past and building the future.
No doubt many viewers were horrified by that story I brought to you last week, in which a suicide gunman ruthlessly attacked a small augmented community near Dar es Salaam. Today, I'm here to bring you a glimmer of hope. European-based construction giant the Santo Group has successfully convinced the Tanzanian government to become a signatory of its Safe Harbor initiative. Designed to promote the creation of safe and secure housing complexes where oppressed groups can live and work, free from persecution, this international civil engineering and action plan is the brainchild of Santo CEO, Nathaniel Brown. Its flagship project, a glittering engineered city named Rabia, is slated to be publicly unveiled at one of Brown's upcoming Safe Harbor conventions. I, for one, cannot wait to learn more. This is Eliza Cassan, reporting to you live from Picus.